Yeah.
I'd like to call Chris McGee up to the stage. Everybody, Chris McGee!
19. There we go. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So this is my presentation. It's the title is kind of self-explanatory, and it's sort of I guess this is sort of an autobiographical kind of presentation, but hopefully it will have some resonance for others and some interest. So this is some information about me if you're not familiar with who I am. My name's Chris. Yeah, I'm from St. John's. I went to music school. Oh yes, and so these are some RPMs, and I presume that this is why Ellen asked me to do this, because I've done a number of RPMs. Some of these I did in collaboration with Maggie Burton, and this one I did with Alex Bridger. But yeah, I usually do RPM, and it's a lot of fun. But basically, what this is supposed to be about is about having anxiety about sort of doing a bunch of different things and dabbling in a bunch of different areas in music, but not really caring about any one thing enough to commit to it and do that permanently. So yeah, and this is sort of, to be fair to myself, I did get fairly good at playing classical saxophone because that's what I went to do my degree in. But it's actually like something that doesn't. I mean, it's not that it doesn't exist in the real world, but it's something that many people have never heard of, and it's something that's kind of, it never really took root in mainstream classical culture. So it's sort of it's still sort of an outcast. This is, you know, you can see Stravinsky here. He's looking at this worm judgmentally. So this is some of my other musical experience that I worked sort of badly as a freelance musician and did not make very much money. And so eventually I gave up doing that because I was sort of failing my children. So now this is what I do most of the time. You can see, yeah, this is the 4th floor of the Confederation Building. You can see this situation up here. This is an accurate representation. So this is what I do. But when it comes to, you know, when you're doing music at home as a hobby, you kind of need to make decisions about how you're going to use your time, right? So I play a bunch of different instruments and try to do different things, but you know, it's sort of like flitting between different things, and it's never, you know, you just kind of, and there's a variety of, and this is sort of the issue too, is that like I like all kinds of music, so I'm never really, which is fine, but there's, you know, you could have atmospheric sludge, you know, Italian post-hardcore. Anyway, this is 90% of the time. This is what usually results. So, and it's, you know, it's kind of comforting even just to look at it, like this photograph. And this is just, this part is not really relevant to the rest of the presentation. I needed to catch my breath. And yeah, so this is, but what I was going to try to talk about was, you know, some of the things that you can, that I have found helpful to sort of try to shift the mindset around this, away from feeling inadequate for not having like developed mastery at one particular instrument. You know, this is stuff that's like, I guess, fairly cliche, but you know, things become cliche for a good reason often. This is sort of the David Foster Wallace thing, and these are some, you know, this is a, I don't even know what's going on here. You know, but you got Eric Dolphy, You got Weezer, Olivier Messiaen. So these, just like combining these things. I think there was some bullet points here. But this was basically about the idea that, I think it said, it's all just pitches and timbres, except for people, like, this is mainly talking about instrumental music. I actually don't know anything about writing lyrics, so this doesn't apply to that. And this is basically something you can fall back on if all else fails. So, yeah, this is kind of a something that I would, I would recommend just, picturing this. And this may be actually totally bad advice if you're trying to earn any money, because you may actually need to think really hard about what other people want you to do instead of what you want to do. So, but again, I would have no idea because I totally failed at making any money through music. So yeah, this is that was it. So.